So I grew up in Ellensburg, Washington, and kind of fourth generation ranching rodeo. You know, my grandpa Buck rodeo, but didn't necessarily go hard. He stayed home and ranched, and my dad kind of the same way. They rodeoed around when they were younger, but then had us boys and stayed home and ran cows. And so we're kind of the first ones that gave her a really good go at the rodeo deal, and it kind of worked out. I think I had my card since '04. And I'm 3 years older than Riley. He met her maybe for 6 months before we got together, and then we got together and we've roped ever since. At Pendleton, I've never been worried about the grass. You know, I grew up on a ranch and we chase cattle across the pasture way faster than at Pendleton. Well, at the Pendleton Rodeo this year, I roped the leg on the first one and kind of put us at a big average check. And we were 14th in the world going in and needing to win bad. And we traded the last day, Friday, went down there. The round was fairly tough for Pendleton. I don't remember exactly what was winning last, but we had to be some kind of short five, I think. And our steer were just mediocre. We know our steer, he's not slow, but he's not real fast. I wanted to make sure I didn't break the barrier. And we knew we had to go full contact to place in the go-round. And when that steer came by me down the lane, I knew he was going fast, and I went as hard as I could. And the go-round was really tough this year. And so when I came across there, I reached out there and, you know, normally you kind of safety up and cross your hands and really ease them out of there, but if I go slow right there, I'm not going to place. So I went ahead and let my horse kind of duck out of there. Riley, he came off that hill a little bit late, and when he was late, he was rolling just as fast as you can go. Next thing you know, my head hit the ground, and I was like, holy cow, what just happened, you know?
I remember we all got ready at my parents' house because it's only about 20 minutes, and we would all go over to Pendleton together, watch the rodeo. I had been up in the breakaway, my dad also team roped, so we all just went together. And I just remember sitting in the stands with my sister, and we knew Riley was almost up. We knew there had been a few more accidents and things compared to usual years. I did make a comment like, gosh, hope nothing happens to his left leg, being he's broke that one before. And I just remember when it happened, my sister, we just kind of froze, and you're helpless, and she looked at me like, why'd you say that?
I got off immediately, and he was moving, you know, so I kind of thought he was all right. He had a bloody lip and a bloody tooth, and everybody rushed out there and told him to stay down, and, you know, I thought he was okay. I didn't get knocked out, surprisingly. I mean, it just drove me right into the grass. And I was riding my backup horse, I call him Tupac. I bought him from my good buddy Dustin Bird. And as soon as I went down and cleared, luckily I didn't hang in the saddle, but my horse was fine. He got right up and took off running at high speed. I knew my shoulder hurt, and then my leg felt funny, but the adrenaline was going. And, you know, I broke my leg back in San Antonio in 2012, so I knew what that felt like, and that was up higher, and it hurt really bad. Well, I tried to walk at Pendleton. Those guys were helping me out of there, but I was like, man, I just maybe tweaked a tendon or something. They got him up, and he hobbled off, and he kind of walked, you know, over there to the side, and so I thought, oh heck, he's walking, he's gonna be all right.
My sister took our kids, and I was able to meet him down below in the locker room where they kind of checked everything out.
Justin Sports was like, I don't know, we better get x-rays. And I mean, it hurt, but I didn't think it was broke. I was praying it wasn't, but it darn sure was.
And decided we needed to head to the hospital.
Yeah, so I went right there to the Pendleton Hospital, and you know, the x-ray techs can't tell you if it's broke or not, I guess. And I'm just sitting there wondering, like, what's going to happen next? I have one rodeo left. I'm 14th in the world.
It was really nice at Pendleton. They got us up to the hospital and got results, and I could tell by the look on his face he wasn't really listening anymore.
So anyway, we get the x-rays back, and they're like, oh yeah, it's broke in 2 spots. You need surgery immediately, and they said you're done. The grass at Pendleton is just so tradition that, you know, I saw lots of comments on Facebook, you know, oh, it needs to be dirt at Pendleton. I mean, I'm not mad at the Pendleton Rodeo by no means, or the grass. It's very unfortunate. Somebody gets hurt there every year, and it's a bad deal when it's you. And being a cowboy, I mean, I've grown up on a ranch, and we've ran across pastures like that with ditches in them, going just as fast. Pendleton adds so much money, and they get so many teams, so many entries, that it pays so good. I mean, unless you're in the top, 6 or 7 in the world and have the finals made, you kind of have to have your name down. That was kind of our first big heartache, and like I told him, he could have had a broken neck and been paralyzed. So, after I got the x-rays in Pendleton, they said I'm done, and so I've sent out a few messages, I'm done. Even Coleman Proctor was headed to Salinas, and I was just sick to my stomach, as it was hurting, but I was more sick that maybe I can't keep going.
I knew he was gonna get home and try to go to Salinas.
At Salinas, I didn't think there was any way possible. He said he's not going, we're not going, he's got to have surgery, he's got a broken leg. I had a couple other guys call me, hey, who you can rope with? And Riley had a doctor's appointment in Seattle. I thought my season was over. And I called a good buddy at home, Coach Sparling there in Ellensburg, and he said, let me hook you up with one of my doctors that he's worked with a lot. So I went to Ellensburg Hospital. We take a bunch of new x-rays. And the doctor looks at him, he says, well, it's broke, but I think we can get you going. He said, you're gonna have to have surgery. Let's get you to Salinas and finish the year out. So I was like, man, I was like, it was a whole new excitement. I'm like, I'm gonna live, I got a chance, and I'm like, I don't know if I can handle this pain, but I'm gonna try it. And Riley texted me that day and said, hey, I'm going, enter us. And I was kind of in shock and kind of like, well, whatever, I'm gonna rope with you if you wanna try it on.
I knew I wasn't gonna talk him out of it. I guess you could say we have the same type of mindset, crazy or not, or unrealistic or not. I knew if I was in his position, I would want to try, good or bad. So yeah, I honestly, for a second, I'm nervous, but I'm like, I would do the same thing. You gotta try. So the athletic trainer for years, Ken Kladnick, he built me a brace. I obviously didn't try getting on a horse before I got there. I'm crutching around, and I don't really like to take the pain pills. They make me sick, so I'm just taking some Tylenol and Aleve, and I'm like, just got to grit it out. But I knew that, there was no other option. Like, it's try to make the NFR or you're done,